welcome all to my channel FreeTuber Mind. My name is Suresh Kumar Ji. I am a devotee of Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi. Today I am really happy to make this video because finally I am able to share my knowledge about Bhagavan to my fellow devotees. Before going to this video, I have one thing to tell you. I have been making video about Bhagavad Gita in simple English. If you are interested in this, please check the description below for the link. Please support my channel by pressing the subscribe button and the bell icon near it so that you don't miss any of my videos. Thank you. Introduction. Here I am using the term Bhagavan to represent Sri Ramana Maharshi. Bhagavan's knowledge is from his own personal experience. At the young age of 16 at Madurai, he had his first experience of self. He realized that he is not this body or the mind. After this realization, he couldn't continue with his normal life. And also he was so much attracted by the hills of Arunachala, he ran away from the home and reached Tiruvannamalai and spent rest of his life there. He never studied under any guru nor had studied any spiritual books. Therefore, his wisdoms are directly from his own experience of the self. His teachings are very practical one. They are not the philosophical one for the entertainment of our mind. So, if you want to fully grasp his teachings, you have to apply it on practice. The popular beliefs of the people is that the Bhagavan's core teachings are the self-inquiry and surrender to the Guru or God. But there is another teaching. It is the primary teachings of Bhagavan. But some people couldn't grasp that idea, so they kept on asking Bhagavan about another techniques. So he explained them the above two techniques. So first we look about these techniques and then finally look into that core teachings of Bhagavan. Please don't skip the video and watch it till the end so that you can completely understand these teachings. If you have any suggestions regarding this video, please let me know in the comment section below. To better understanding Bhagavan's teaching, first get familiar with some of the terms that are used by Bhagavan. The first one is self. What is self? Do not confuse the term self with I or our ego. The self is eternal and everlasting, which cannot be experienced by using our own senses or mind. The real self is always present and experienced only by the conscious aware of it. If we are consciously aware of the self, we can eliminate the limited tendencies of our mind, and this inquiry of the self is called self-inquiry. We will see that in details while discussing the self-inquiry. Second term is I or ego. Here we are talking the I is the false I. I represent the ego. I means the thought that rise in our waking state. For example, I eat this, I sleep well. Our ultimate aim here is to know that who that I is. Is that this body or our mind? Is that real? Let us see that details while discussing about the self-inquiry. And third term is the real I, that is the self, which is eternal and everlasting. Number 4, 3 states of consciousness. Number 1, waking state. Number 2, dreaming state. Number 3, dreamless deep sleep. Here the waking state means state where we are fully aware of our body, mind and the things that are happening around us. The dreaming state means we are in the state of dream while sleeping. The dreamless deep sleep means we are completely in deep sleep. At this stage, our consciousness completely lost. We are not aware of the body, senses and mind and surroundings. According to the Upanishad, there is a fourth stage which is known as Turiya. In this stage is the pure consciousness in which the above 3 stages taking place. Understanding of these stages, I will make a detailed video about this later. Now come back to the teachings of Bhagavan. Number 1, self-inquiry. This technique popularly known as who am I technique. Our mind is active when we are in waking and dreaming stage, but during the waking stage it is active more. The mind is nothing but a collection of thoughts, predominantly I thought or our ego. Other mental faculties such as intellect, memory, etc. are only the mind itself. These have given different names according to its function. Starting and ending of our mind is from I thought. Without the I thought, there is no mind. Our aim here is to eliminate the I thought by inquire who that I is. Now you have a thought. How is that possible? Follow this step. How to practice self-inquiry. First, ask yourself, who am I? So the mind will say that this body is me, or your name. The name is just a word that is given to you. It does not have any significance. Then this body is the real I. Then when we were a child, this body was there? No, because the body is constantly changing, but the I is still exists when we were in the child and also now. Now we can say that we are not this body. Are we the mind? What happened to the mind when we are sleeping? Does that mind there? Are we not existing while sleeping? While sleeping, the mind, the body or senses are not exist. So if we consider ourselves as our mind, then are we simply vanishing while we are sleeping? No, not exactly. So we are not our mind. So we can clearly say that we are not our mind. So from these two questions we can clearly understand is that we are not the body. If we are the body, then the body has to be constant. But it is keep on changing from the childhood, adult and old age. But the true self inside the body is not changing. So we cannot able to compare that I with the body. And if we say we are the mind, then during sleeping that mind is gone. And we say that we do not exist while we are sleeping. We are not the body as well as we are not the mind. To find out the real nature of the self, you have to inquire it. Also, you can understand that there is something that is constant inside my body, that is eternal and everlasting, that is not this body, not this mind. Inquiry is not a mental exercise. We cannot find the real answer with the help of the mind. Inquiring who am I, do not expect any verbal answer. The answer to the question is awareness of yourself that you are not this mind or body. You have to keep this awareness. Do not entertain the mind too much to find out the answer. Purpose of the self-inquiry is not to use the mind to find out what is the real nature of I. We are assuming the I, that is the ego, as a real nature, but that is not. So we have to keep this awareness that we are not this body and the mind. And using that awareness, we have to inquire deeply. We have to inquire constantly every minute of our waking state. We must do this. Then only we can destroy the false notion of I and the ego. We have to keep this awareness ourselves and keep on inquiry. And what happened after the inquiry? At some point, we will realize a true self. We cannot explain that stage with our words. It is purely based on the experience. You have to keep on inquiring. By the grace of Guru Sri Ramana Maharshi, we can realize the true self. A lot of people using this technique and complaining about that it is so much difficult for them to continue. So the Bhagavan suggested another method which is called surrender to God or Guru. Here the surrendering means accepting our limitation and unconditionally surrender to the higher power like a Guru or God. What this means is we are simply surrendering everything that is happening in our life, even the small things. We are surrendering everything to the God. By doing this, we can realize the true self. People think that it is easy. Simply say that I completely surrender to Ramana Maharshi or on her guru or the God, his or her favorite God. And after some time, keep demanding that I need this, I need that. Surrendering and demand does not go hand to hand together. Telling the guru that I am unable to do this, please help me. So I have completely surrendered everything, my body, my sense, my mind, everything to you. This means that after the surrender, you don't have any of desire of your own. Whatever comes to your life, you have to accept it as it is, whether it is good or bad. You don't have rights to judge whether it is good or bad. After you have completely surrendered everything to God, then it is the responsibility of God or Guru to take care of you, no matter whatever happens. Whatever comes, you simply remember in the mind, I have surrendered to my Guru. Now whatever comes, I simply accepted. My Guru or God will take care of it. Complete surrender is the path for liberation, because practice this surrender, the ego or I simply melt away, because you have surrendered everything to God. Then there is no individual desire. Everything is done by the grace of the God. You have completely accepted that. So there is a complete loss of individuality, that is I or ego. When you have lost individuality and your desire, your own preferences, you have completely lost the sense of I. Here I have briefly explained two main teachings of Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi. One is the self-inquiry and second is the surrender to the Guru or God. I have once again simply explain the concept for better understanding. The self-inquiry is a technique where you are aware of the self, that is the true nature of ourself, which is eternal. We have constantly aware of that self throughout our waking stage. And because of this awareness, our mind is consisting of I thought or ego will be ceased to exist, so that we can fully immerse ourselves into the self. The people who find the self-inquiry difficult, there is another method suggested by Sri Ramana Maharshi, that is called surrendering to God or Guru. Surrendering means you have to accept your limitation and unconditionally surrender to the higher power like Guru or God. And you have to completely disown your own preferences, your own choices, your own desires and everything. After the surrender, you no longer exist. Everything happening to you is the will of the God, and everything you are doing is also the will of the God. Maharshi primary teaching is not the self-inquiry and surrendering. His primary teachings is his silence. If we sit in front of him in the silence, we immediately realize the self. But because of some people can't able to realize that self, one taught them the self-inquiry and surrendering to the God. Now Bhagavan's body is no more, but it doesn't mean that he is not here. He is always present. He is eternal. For success of our practice, we have to ask Sri Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi for his grace. By the grace of Ramana Maharshi, we can successfully complete the self-inquiry. Thank you.